Good morning, everyone. If you can hear me and can see my screen, kindly type in the comment section a hi in the comment section, please. Hey, Carrie, good morning to you. Big Clan, hi, good morning. IB, hi, great. 733, hi, good morning to you. Sami Tattoos, good evening. Okay, it's evening there. Super Mario, hi, good morning. Angel, hello. Okay. Oluwafemi, yeah, hi, good morning. All right. Daud, hi, yeah, good morning. Jake Sam, good morning. Yeah, Femi, I see you. Jake Sam, are we all pumped up for this session? Are we ready and excited to be here again and participate in this live session? So, great. I think with no much further ado, let's quickly dive into the charts and let's see what's happening so that we don't miss the action as they unfold. Okay, great, great. Glad to hear that. I'm also excited to be with you guys today and see what's happening. And from there we can talk. Okay. All right. So as usual, the first pair we will be discussing this morning is the U.S. oil. I think it's a very popular commodity in the house, and let's do justice to that. And on the US oil, we started seeing that bullish momentum which we anticipated during our forecast yesterday. And if we look at what is happening here on the daily time frame and from what we discussed yesterday, you can see how well price is actually going according to one of the perspectives we discussed yesterday. So, like I said yesterday, that as soon as price touches the key level at $117.75, we want to be moving our stop loss to break even. That is for those who sold at $118.90. And if we look at what happened, we saw our price came into that key level, and then we saw the rejection as price pushed further up to touch the break-even level. So if you had sold this pair yesterday, definitely you are not going to be in a loss, as we finally saw the breakout of the $119 area we were looking out for yesterday. Allow me to punch this out further a little bit. Okay. So we were expecting the $119,500 area, where we said if we see a breakout of that area, then we will be looking forward to an opportunity to take advantage of a bullish momentum as soon as price does a correction of that structure. So now, lo and behold, we had a correction in that structure. We saw price go up, and then price did the correction in that structure. Then we saw the big move to the upside. So I actually had this area for our entry point. We had, because first we saw a rejection of this key level at 117.750. We saw another rejection here, and the breakout happened. Then we saw a correction back into this area. So if you had entered the trade around this area, then good for you. And we are running with about at least a minimum of how many pips that is. We have minimum of around 200 pips thereabout on this one. So since the selling opportunity is not yielding as expected, so we delete this and then we hold on to the bullish forecast we anticipated earlier. So our take profit targets still remain at $125 as we saw price breakout of that 119 area. Then we saw multiple rejections of that level as well, as we saw the breakout the second time and we saw multiple rejection of that area to push price further up. If I were you, if I saw this, then you could have um, taken another position on this one, on this from this 119.500 area. So right now, if you are taking a buy opportunity, you'll be in profit now. And my advice at this point is to move the stop loss. So where are we going to move our stop loss at this point? If we look left, we can see that we have structures around this area. We can see we have structures here. We have a resistant level here, resistant, resistant, resistant level. Then we have the support and resistant around this area. So what's that going to tell us? That means $120 area appears to be an appropriate place where we can place our stop loss at this point. So let's do this. Let's do this around this area. Okay, let's have this area as our stop loss. So we move our stop loss into the $120 area and let's see how price plays out. So give me a moment, please. We have, okay. So we already have a breakout of $120.5 around this area. So we might be looking forward to price doing a retracement a little bit into somewhere around this area before we start seeing another momentum to the upside. So if I were you, if price does this, sorry, let me go down to the lower time frame to make things more clear. So we have a scenario here that I want to identify with you here. If we bring our line chart, sorry, give me a moment. Let me pull down this to. So let's bring out our line chart at this point, and then if we look left, we can see that we can identify a bullish trend line around this area. And if you look closely, you can see that the bullish trend line shares a confluence with is right above where our stop loss is going to be right now on the US oil. So one thing I want to be looking out for is this: if price comes down, and it's very possible price can come down into this structure, then we will be looking forward to a reversal pattern, probably an inverse head and shoulder on the lower time frame, or a double bottom structure, a rising wedge, 1 2 3 reversal pattern. Whichever reversal pattern that lines up before us, then we want to be looking forward to a breakout of structure. Mind you, all this is going to happen on the lower time frame. Let's say your 5 minutes, your 10 minutes, your time frame, where we will be looking forward to a trend continuation to the upside. So in that regard, if that happens, then we are welcome to add one more position to this trade. So that is what we're expecting here on the US oil. So are we clear on this? Are we clear on this? I would love if I see a response so that I know that we're on the same page, please. Okay, I think there are no response at this point. Well, I would take the silence as an acceptance that we all understand what I just explained here on the US oil. So moving on, then before we move on the US oil, okay. So moving on, let's go to the next one. Let's bring out the UK oil. Okay. We have a similar scenario here on the US oil, on the UK oil, and things are going as expected on the US oil as well. The selling opportunity was taken out at break even, and I would like to delete this at this point. Velina, good morning to you. You're welcome on board. Trust you had a good night rest. So great. Let's see how what's happening here in the UK oil. Remember what we said on the UK oil yesterday? We were anticipating a breakout of this zone at 120.500 area, which happened, and we saw the breakout happen yesterday, and then we saw a retest a couple of times before we saw that engulfing candle that took price out of the structure we we just identified now. And so presently from the entry point at we had an entry point at 120.82 cents, and from that area price is presently running with about over 100 pips now in profit. So what is my advice here? The first thing I will say here is let us move our stop loss to break even, at least just in case any sharp decline in price action happens, so that we don't get ourselves caught in the negatives. So we move our stop loss to break even at this point. Our take profit target still remains at $130. Then we want to see how price plays out going into the New York session. So if we continue to see structures that support a trend continuation in the form of a reversal pattern whatsoever, that is, then we could add positions to this trade. And so what do I mean by that? What I'm saying is if we have a retracement into somewhere here, because if we look left, give me a moment, let's bring out our line chart at this point, and let's move down to a 30 minutes time frame to see things more clearly. So on the 30 minutes time frame, we can see here that we have a structure here which has been a resistant level in the last how many hours is that? In the last 12 to 15 hours, we've had a resistant level around $121.20, and that area could probably be our new demand zone going forward. So what I want to be looking out for right now is this. We want to be looking out for a retest into somewhere around here. It might not get as far as that area. I might even get as far as that. But what's the major thing we're actually looking out for at this place is a reversal pattern that will support the possibility of a trend continuation to the upside. So we will be looking for a reversal pattern on, let's say, the 5 minutes time frame, the 10 minutes or the 15 minutes time frame, where we'll be looking for a breakout of structure, a retest to confirmation. Then we can add one more position to this trade. So this is how we're going to be guiding our actions going into the New York session. The resistance level I just identified here on the one on 121.1 on $20 area shall be our yardstick going forward, as we want to continue to take advantage of any bullish momentum right above that level. So anything that goes below that level, then we need to hold on and see if structure supports, we should continue to the upside, and if not, then we might be considering a bearish momentum at that point. So what I'm really saying at this point is that the key level here at 121.20 is an area that will be our yardstick going into the New York session. We want to continue to see price oscillating right above that level to maintain our bullish bias on this commodity. So that is that on the UK oil. Are there any questions? Okay, let's move on. So the next pair we'll be talking about is on the BTC USD. I don't know who took BTC USD yesterday. BTC USD moved massively in our favor yesterday. And let's look at what the chart gave us. You see, it's moved significantly well. Yesterday we saw this move to the upside. Price was around this area. Remember, we said we saw we this bearish momentum, and we were expecting a reversal pattern within this area. We saw the reversal pattern. The price came into this structure at $29,750 before coming down one more time. Then we saw the final breakout of that level, which I made mention yesterday, and a sharp rejection of that level to join the rally to the upside. And the take profit target I took, I said the first take profit target will be at $30,600, which was around eight. Hold on a second, let me see what that is. Around 8,000 pips, close to 9,000 pips on that one. If you are taking advantage of that move, kudos to you. Then I made mention that if price continue to go up, then a retest of the structure will give us an opportunity to add more position to this trade. So if you are taking that sharp retest, then good to you too as well. However, this is more of a retest of structure right now. We have this move, then we have this move down into $29,820, and then we continue to see price appears to be finding new new lows, which continue to rise in the last 5 to 6 hours at this point. So what I'm thinking here is this. I'm looking at right above this key level here at $30,500 to take advantage of another bullish momentum from this point. So for the sake of clarity, we might want to wait for a breakout of structure, a retest of structure on a lower time frame to join the potential rally to the upside on the BTC USD. So that is what I'm looking forward to going into the New York session, as the potential for a further growth in price of the Bitcoin is still very, very possible at this point. Especially from its, we are looking at it from a technical perspective. So this is what I'm expecting going into the New York session. So I want us to just place our take profit target at around $32,000 is fine. Let's put at $32,000 at this point. So let's see if price will hit $32,000 before the end of today or probably tomorrow. Then we can now decide on what will happen afterward. So stop loss will be placed right below the previous low at about 400 pips plus. So we'll be looking forward to that. So what I'm expecting here is a breakout of structure on a lower time frame, a retest of structure. Then we want to be moving to the upside on this one. So let's keep it like this, and we take our profits in beats as we keep on monitoring price action as we go into the weekend. 8605, good morning to you. Ismail, good morning to you. You're welcome on board. Jimbo, hello, how are you? Pitoff, you're welcome. So that is that on the BTC USD. So moving on to Euro CHF. On the Euro CHF, we still have our position running in profit on the Euro CHF. Remember, we placed our stop loss at 1.03950. I think during the course of yesterday's session, or is it 2 days ago? I guess, yes, 2 days ago. We had our stop loss right at 1.03950, and price has been moving right above that level since then. So at this point, I want us to adjust our stop loss now and move it, since price has moved significantly in our favor. I want us to move our stop loss to 1.04370, which is right above the previous high and then our take profit target still remain at 1.0500 area, which is around 165 pips. So so far so good. We are how many pips now in profit? We are almost 140 pips in profit now, and let's see how price plays out going into the New York session. So there is no much expectations here on the Euro CHF. We're already profitable on this one. Wherever we close now, we are very, very good to go. So on the Euro CHF, if you are taking advantage, kudos to you. And that's that. So moving on to GBP New Zealand. On GBP New Zealand, we were able to hit take profit targets during the course of yesterday's trading session. We hit TP targets during the new session yesterday with about 180 pips, and price appears to be going towards a decline at this point. If you would ask me, personally, I would just say we should just hold on here and let's see how price plays out in the next couple of days, and probably we will come next week to see if we can take advantage of any momentum that is evolving behind the screen. If we look at it from a larger perspective, you can see that this appears to be an impulse leg, and we saw something like this. Begin to see structures that look more like a reversal pattern, and for me, this might be the reversal pattern, might be the inception of a retracement phase of that impulse leg, where we might be looking forward to a buying opportunity at a retest of that bearish trend line, and that will send price going to the upside. So the reason why I'm saying that we should hold on and let's see how price plays out in the next couple of days, and then after which we could take advantage of that bullish continuation when it happens, and this might probably happen during next week trading session. So if you are a counter trend trader, you might be looking for an opportunity to take that sell opportunity, but it's very, very dangerous and dicey. And why have I said that? If you look left, we can see the bullish momentum that started in the beginning of the month has been very, very strong, and a trend continuation can happen at any point in time. So unless you want to do a scalp, let's see 15 minutes time frame if there is a take advantage of any scalping opportunity going into the New York session. So we have something like this. We have a structure right around this area on the 15 minutes time frame. If we bring out our line chart, we have a structure right around this area. So for the sake of clarity and confirmation, we want to seek a breakdown of that key level to take advantage of any bearish momentum. So if we see a breakdown of the structure, then we want to be looking for a retest of structure, where we will be looking for patterns that support a trend continuation to the downside. So if that is if counter trading is your style of trading, then you might want to take advantage of that move. And I think that's about how many pips that is. If we take right below this area, that's like around 100 over 140 pips. So that is that, and then we'd have a stop loss right above structure with about approximately 30 pips. For me personally, I would consider in long-term perspective, it's advisable that you hold on and be patient. Then we look for setups that will support a trend continuation before we jump in to this trade. So this is my expectation on GBP New Zealand. Expectation on GBP New Zealand. That's the only expectation I'm seeing on GBP New Zealand is a counter trend opportunity, and this is for those who enjoy doing counter trend opportunity. And if you are taking a counter trend opportunity, please be mindful of your position, as you need to be moving your stop loss accordingly, because you don't want any sudden bullish spike to take you out in a loss. So this is very, 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 very pertinent to put in mind. So that is that on the GBP New Zealand. So we move on to GBP USD. On the GBP USD, yesterday I I shared this scenario where I was looking for another sell opportunity. Remember, we took around 110 pips in the early part of this week, and the rejection of this bearish trend line here suggested that we might be having a trend continuation scenario. And immediately I saw that rejection, I planted an entry point around this area, which I shared with you yesterday. And I said, if we have a breakdown and retest of this area, I want to join, which happened though, and we were stopped out during the New York session with about 30 pips loss, which now led to the breakout of that bearish trend line. As you can see, the breakout of that bearish trend line shares a confluence with the key level we identified at 1.25300. So with that being said, now we have a scenario that we can work with going into the New York session. So if you allow me, I want to delete this selling position right now because I don't think we'll be going sell anymore, as we can see that after price tested 1.24330, the next low we saw was a higher low, giving us an impression that a bullish momentum is actually coming in the market. And then we saw a breakout of that bearish trend line, which I said earlier shares a confluence with the key level at 1.25300. And once we have that, we can see how price has come back to the trend line and at the same time the key level area, and then we saw a sharp rejection of that trend line. Then price came around that key level area. So what do you think I'm looking out for at this point? At this point, I'm going to be looking out for a reversal pattern, a breakout of structure, a retest into key level of structure, whatever structure that comes up. Then we want to be looking for a trend continuation to the upside. So now our bias going into the New York session is more of a bullish momentum. And before we can confirm a bullish momentum, we want to be looking for structures. We want to be looking for structures that will support this. So the key level at 1.25300 still holds at this point, and then we want to be looking for opportunities right above 1.25300. Anywhere below 1.25300 is a no-no for us, as we'll continue to look for opportunities right above 1.25300 to take advantage of a bullish momentum. So right now, currently I placed the pending order right at 1.25378, where I'm looking to test the waters first. Let's see how price plays out. If price breaks out, very good for us. Then if price comes back into this area and I see reversal pattern on lower time frame, then I want to add positions and then going fully on this one at the breakout of structure to enjoy the potential rally to the upside. So this is my perspective on the GBP USD at the moment, and we're having our take profit target at, give me a moment, let's go to the 1 hour time frame where we can see things from a larger perspective. So on the 1 hour time frame, I'm looking forward to a take profit target at around 1.26500, which is around 110 pips thereabout. And how did we come about that? The reason why our take profit target is at 1.26500 is simply because if we look left, we can see that we had this impulse leg that started yesterday at 1.24300. We saw that impulse leg move to the upside. Then we saw something that looks like a retracement phase, and then we might be looking forward to a trend continuation to the upside. So if we project that impulse leg, okay, hold on a second. I think I projected this impulse leg instead. I think this one is what I used. I used this one. I used this one. So if we project that impulse leg at the moment and we aim at a 127.2% extension of the last impulse leg, then we have our area at a 141.4, between 1414 and 127.2 area as a take profit target. So if I draw, let me draw it out so that we can screenshot the screen and keep it in our books so that we can follow it as price action is being monitored. So we have our take profit target right within this area. So give me a moment, let me label this area. We have a TP target right within there. Okay, so we have something like this. So I think this is clear now for the GBP USD. So we are aiming at around 110 pips, and let's see how price plays out as we head into the New York session. So my perspective on the GBP USD right now is bullish. And one thing you also want to note that is this: there is a possibility that price could do a sharp rejection of this area at 1.249 before that move to the upside happens. So if that happens, then definitely we want to see a climb of this bearish trend line, and then we see a rejection of this trend line, then we could join. If we see a rejection of this trend line, then we could hard position to join the trade to the upside. So those are two perspectives to this. But one thing I want to make clear on this one is that based on the breakout of this trend line from a technical perspective, this is a bullish momentum. So let's keep our fingers crossed and let's see how price plays out in the next couple of hours. Okay, Dan, hello, how are you? How it work, please just tell me about. Okay, if you are already a forex trader on this platform, what we do here is come here together on 11 o'clock West African time on a daily basis. We come here to share our opinion on what our expectation is going to be as we move on to the New York session. So what I do here personally is to come here and give you my perspective on the on chosen markets that I personally chose myself. And at the same time, if you have pairs of commodities you think you want me to look at, then you can share it in the comment section and I can share you my perspective on what I think and what I assume is going to happen as we head into the New York session. So that's what we do here basically. As you trade on the Exchange app too as well, you can as well watch this and use this as a guide in taking your decision as you do your trades. So that's what we really do on this platform. And well, it could take you some time to understand, but just be patient, be with us, just watch and listen, and then with time you get to understand what we what I'm actually explaining to you right now. I think I make justice to that. And then okay, I think I've done that. 9016. Moin, good morning to you. How are you doing? Okay, you're welcome. Vince Dawn. Okay, good morning to you. Nice one. Thanks for the compliment. Who else is in the house again? Okay, Botfy. Yeah, good morning to you. How are you? Infinity Income. Oh, um, I'm humbled. You're welcome. Oh, from the Philippines. That's good. Glad to have you around. I hope you have a wonderful stay here with us and you continue to be with us as we continue to come here and gather here every day to share our perspective to the market. So, Raleigh, okay, hi, how are you this morning? Good morning to you. 6878, hi, good morning. Redding, hello. Trust you're doing well. So we look forward to seeing more of your presence around. So that is that on the GBP USD. So now we move on to the next pair. On the next pair, I was on the Euro card. I think we talked about the Euro card yesterday, and I made mention of a very short opportunity which I took here on the Euro card. If you remember, I told you I took a trade here at 1.34607, which was actually running in profit yesterday. I think it was running with about how many pips yesterday? It was running with about from this point, it was around this area, it was running with about 33 pips, and I gave you another opportunity to take advantage of that move if you had missed that entry where I took my trade. And I told you that the key level here at 1.3400 34400 shall be your key level to take advantage of that bearish momentum. And we saw price do that. We saw price do a rejection of that level, and then price move further down to hit our take profit target at 1.33900 during the course of yesterday. So I don't know if you are taking that trade. Kudos to you. And price appears to be doing a rally. back to the upside. And for me personally, one thing I'm thinking here is this. I'm thinking that price might be going bullish at this point in time. But before we can make that kind of conclusion that price is going bullish, we need to see confirmations. We need to see a signal that will support that momentum going forward. So for me personally, what I'll be doing at this point is to delete this bearish position which I've identified with you yesterday. I'll delete it because for me at this point it doesn't look visible. Let's see what happens at this point. We have a bearish trend line going, and then sorry about that. Okay, so we have this we have a key level right at 1.34600. So one thing I want to be looking out for on the euro card is this. Let's look at it together. We can see how the key level here shares a confluence with the bearish trend line. We can see here the key level at 1.34600 and the bearish trend line appear to have emerged. And at that point, it tells me how significant that level is. So whatever happens around that area will determine how price is going to move in the next couple of days. So what we'll be looking at is this. The first scenario is this one. The first thing first we want to be looking out for is if we do have a breakout of that key level, then a retest of structure should send price going up. And at the same time, if price comes into that key level or the bearish trend line and we see reversal pattern forming right here, probably in the form of an inverse head and shoulder, in the form of a double top structure or whatever reversal pattern that comes up, then we want to be looking to take advantage at a breakout of structure, which will be our signal, then a confirmation at a retest of structure to join the decline to the downside. So if you hear me clearly, you can see now that we have two scenarios that we could take advantage of here on the euro card as we head into the New York session. So the first scenario, which I explained earlier, is the bullish momentum, which if confirmations happens accordingly, then we want to be looking to take advantage of that bullish momentum right above that key level. So I have an area at around 1.34699 as an entry point where we can take advantage of that bullish momentum. So we'll be having a position that looks like this right here. Then we have our stop loss right. If we look left, we can see that we have a structure that we can use as our stop loss. So we have our stop loss right around this area with about 40 pips max. Well, personally, that's too much. It depends on how price plays out within that area. I'm just giving you a max of 40 pips. It could be as small as 20, 25, 30, but I'm just giving you a max, let's say to 40 pips thereabout. So where will our take profit target be? If we look left, we can see that we have an impulse leg where price has been finding lower lows since the beginning of the later part of May stroke the beginning of the month of June. We saw that impulse leg that culminated at around 1.333910. So with that impulse leg identified here, we want to be looking forward to a retracement of that impulse leg into the golden zone area, where we will be looking for a trend continuation to the downside. So where is our golden zone area? Our golden zone area is right between the 50 and the 78.6% retracement of that impulse leg. So if we are going to be taking a bullish opportunity on this one, then we want to be targeting at least a minimum of the 50% retracement, which falls at around 129 pips thereabout. 129, 128 pips thereabout for at least for the bullish momentum. And remember what I told you about the bullish momentum? I said for a bullish momentum to be confirmed, we want to be looking out for a breakout of this key level at 1.346, a retest of structure or the trend line. Then we want to be looking for patterns that support a trend continuation to the upside. So that is the first perspective I'm looking at for on the euro card. So I used to tell you, you can screenshot my screen, take a screenshot so that you can save it and be able to use my explanation here as a guide as you anticipate taking your own position. So on the second scenario here is if we have a reversal pattern right within the bearish trend line and the key level area, then we want to be looking for signals to take advantage of a selling opportunity. So what I mean here is this: if we have a strike into this area, we have a retest, we have a new lower high, then we have a breakout of structure. A retest of structure should confirm that we want to be going bearish. So if that happens, then we should be having our entry point right below that key level at around 1.34559, where we want to be taking advantage of a selling opportunity with a stop loss right above that area. And the reason why I'm placing the stop loss at 1.3485690 area, that's around minimum of between 25 to 35 pips, is just because we can see since the beginning of the week, price has not found itself above this area. This is where price started this week before we saw that bearish momentum. So because of that understanding, I want to put my stop loss around that area. Then where will our take profit target be? So if we look left, we have let me go to the 4 hours time frame so that I can see that impulse leg, that previous impulse leg to use. Okay, so we have this impulse leg here. Sorry, we have this impulse leg here. So we want to project that impulse leg into the future. So we will use our Fibonacci extension tool, run it through that impulse leg and take it right back in. Then we have our take profit target falling at, let's say, 127.2 area will be most appropriate at this point. So for me personally, I want to let it fall on a psychological level. Let's say 5, 6, is it 5? Okay, let's say 5, 3, 3, 6, I think. So that's about 99 pips. That's approximately 100 pips for any selling potential coming up here in the Euro CAD. So this is my expectation here on the Euro CAD. As we head into the New York session, let's see how price plays out, and whatever happens, be ready to take advantage of that move. Don't let that opportunity slip you by. Okay, good afternoon from Norway. You're welcome here. Infinity Income. Oh, thank you very much. I take that as a compliment. I'm humbled. Euro Trinidad and USD Trinidad is growing but still shows negativity. Well, I don't know if we can I can look at that before the end of the session, but if it's possible, then I'll definitely quickly share let's say 30 seconds or one minute on it if possible. Good morning, my beautiful people. Where did I get lost? Oh, well, you are not lost. After this session, I'm still going to do a recap of what we talked about since morning, and then you can actually take one or two things from that. So I will advise you stay by so that you don't miss the recap. Good morning, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Trust you are doing well. Infinity, okay, you're back. You're welcome back. Hello, 1920. You're welcome. You're welcome. So that is that on the EuroCAD. So please ensure you are on standby in order not to miss any of the opportunity. So on the AUD USD, what am I looking at on the AUD USD? I'm also looking at a bullish momentum on the AUD USD. And the reason why I'm looking for a bullish momentum is this. If we look left, we can see how price has been finding higher highs since the beginning of the month. Even it has been happening since mid-May, and the potential for an uptrend continuation is still there. And the reason why I said that is this: if we see what happened when price tested 0.72835, we saw that impulse leg that moved price down into 0.71600 area. Then after that, watch what happened. We saw a rise, then we saw price came back down to form what looks like a double bottom structure. And from a technical perspective, you know what a double bottom structure is. A double bottom structure is a very, very strong reversal pattern, especially on higher time frames. So after that double bottom structure happened, we saw the breakout of structure. Then we saw a retest into structure. And for me personally, I am thinking that price is going to go further up on this one. So because of this scenario, you know what I just did? I identified a key level that will guide my action going into the new week, into the new New York session. So what are we doing here? What are we going to do? If we look left, bring out my line chart at this point, and if we look left, we will see that this area has been a resistant level. We have a resistant level here, a resistant level before the breakout of the structure, resistance again, then we have a resistance and support level. So now the resistant level before now became a support level. It came back to a resistant, and now we have a resistant and support level at this point. So with this illustration I just given you, you will agree with me that that area is more or less a very, very significant level. So with this information at the back of our hand, we want to be looking to take advantage of this area as our key level, which will also serve as a yardstick going into the New York session. So what are we going to do here? We are going to draw a key level right on that area to cover that area. So we'll be having something like this. And our key level is always in gold, orange. Okay, we have our key level right here. And so what's the figure of key level? We have it right at 0.71950. So for the sake of clarity, let's add it. We have 0.71950 right here as our, so let's place it right at the top on the right hand side or left hand side. We better, okay, let's put on left hand side, then we have it gold. Then so that's that. So we have our key level right at 0.71950. So what are we going to be looking out for going into the New York session? So what we're going to be looking out for going to the New York session, we want to be looking for price right above that key level to take advantage of that bullish momentum. So what do we do here? So we go to the lower time frame and we look for structures that will guide us into that decision. So what are we going to be looking out for on the lower time frame? We're going to be looking out for a breakout of that of that key level. We're looking for a retest of that key level. It could be a sharp retest. It could be a double bottom structure. It could be a reversal pattern, whatever it is. Then we want to be taking advantage of that bullish momentum going to the upside. So now, because of this scenario, I've identified here an entry level at 0.71967 as my first entry. Then I want to take another entry right above this area. This area has been a support level in the past, so it has been a demand level where people start to buy the Aussie against the USD. And at the same time, it happened here too as well. They gathered to buy the Aussie, So a potential that they will gather here to buy the Aussie is also very, very feasible considering the structure we have seen in the last 3 to 4 days. So what we want to be doing here is this. We want to be looking for, once this breaks out to retest, then I'm taking another pending order right at 0.72054, where I'm looking forward to a breakout of that area. And if I see a retest of structure, then I want to add another position, probably making 3 positions on this one. So on the AUD USD, we have a take profit target at 0.72750. It's not that much, it's around 78 pips. And the reason why I'm stalling my take profit target at around this area is, if we look left, we can see that at this area as one time being a supply niche for sellers, and it's very possible that if price comes into this area, we could be seeing selling opportunity gathering around that area. So for the meantime, let's just take our profit at that area at around 78 pips, and then if we do have a breakout of that structure, then that will confirm to us that we have strong buyers who are taking out that position for a demand zone going forward. So if that happens, then we could be deciding on that, and that probably could happen tomorrow. So at this point, let's see how price plays out going into the New York session. So we have our stop loss right previous low here. We have a very short stop loss at around 25 pips, 26 pips thereabout. And if we see how the breakout of the key level happens, the stop loss might be a very small one, depending on how the breakout happens above the key level. So I think on this note, I will just have to call it a day for this one. I think we talked about how many pairs today. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I wish to talk about the Euro USD and the USD card, but there is not enough time to do that because for the sake of those who joined us late, I will need to do a quick recap of what we discussed so far. BTC USD, you came in late. We talked about BTC USD earlier. You can hold on for the recap where I will explain further. Marilena, good morning to you. You're welcome here. Hi everyone. Good morning everyone. Trust you're doing well. I'm excited you're around and I'm hoping to see you through the session as well. Okay. So let's quickly look at what we talked about so far as we already are running out of time. So the first pair we talked about today is the US oil. And what did we say about the US oil? Let's look at it closely. And yes, on the US oil, we saw price moving in our direction as expected. And the first thing I said here is to move your stop loss to $120, after which we see how price plays out going forward. Now, I also identified a bullish trend line here, which I said should be our guide going into the New York session, as we might be seeing a scenario where price comes into the trend line and then we see a reversal pattern that supports a trend continuation where we can actually add one more position to this trade. And to look for a reversal pattern, I keep saying this, look on the lower time frame, your 5 minutes time frame, your 10 minutes, your 15 minutes time frame. When you look for a reversal pattern aligning with that bullish trend line, then you can opt in a signal and confirmation to add position to that trade. So after I said that, I also made mention that there is a possibility that price could come down, get out of our stop loss. Remember, right above key level at $119.500 still remains an area we could take advantage of any bullish momentum. So for any bullish momentum, we don't want to go below 119.500, at least for now going into the New York session. So this is my view on the US oil. Then we moved on to the UK oil as well, where we saw a similar structure here on the UK oil. And like I said, we were expecting a breakout yesterday. We saw the breakout happen. We saw multiple rejection of that entry point where we took advantage of that bullish move. And presently we are running with about 100 pips in profit already. And what I said was that we should move our stop loss to $121 20 cents. Is it 20 cents or 10 cents? Yes, right above the structure is where I said we should move our stop loss to, and that area shall be our key level going into the New York session, as we want to be looking for an opportunity if price comes back down into that area. And I said it might not go that far, but if we see a reversal pattern right above that key level, then we want to take advantage of another position by entering another position on this trade. So that is my expectation here on the UK oil. And so right above this area is the only area we are looking out to take advantage of any buy opportunity. As if price goes below the 120.5 zone, then it's a no buy for us. I think that is okay on the UK oil. So we went on to talk about the BTC USD where we enjoyed over 9,000 pips on the BTC USD yesterday. We cut this move yesterday. Price moved as expected. We saw this bearish move. We saw a reversal pattern. We saw a breakout of structure, a retest into structure. We took advantage of that huge move at about 9,000 approximately. And then I also said yesterday that if we see price come back and do a retest of structure, it could be an advantage to take another opportunity. However, price has just broken down that area and come back up into this area. Then I said that we should hold on and see a breakout of this key level as $30,500 to take advantage of a bullish momentum. So on a lower time frame, we want to be looking for a breakout of this area, a retest of this area, then we take advantage of that bullish momentum. So for those who are taking advantage of this move yesterday, your profit is there. Don't waste it out. Don't take unnecessary trade. For now, it might be looking as if you want to take a sell opportunity. Please be mindful, because we are still right above the demand zone, which is around $29,500. So because we are still right above that demand zone, it is very, very pertinent that we keep our fingers crossed and wait for bullish momentum right above that area. So our take profit target shall be around $32,000, which falls around, I think, 13,000 pips thereabout. So let's hold on that and see how price plays out going into the New York session. So the next pair we talked about was the Euro CHF, and the Euro CHF is still more going as profits. It's still profitable for us. For those we took this trade earlier this week, and it has been going as expected. And the first thing I said was to move our stop loss now to 1.043, is it 380 or 390? And then our take profit targets to remain at 1.0500. We are still running in about how many pips in profit now? 140 pips in profit on the Euro CHF. So no much update on the Euro CHF. The only update we have here is that we move our stop loss so that we can lock in some profit should price decide to do a turnaround unexpectedly. Then on the GBP New Zealand, we had we took profit on GBP New Zealand yesterday as price hit our target with about 180 pips in profit yesterday. And today, right now, we're having a scenario that looks more like a reversal pattern that is evolving at the moment. However, I told you that personally, I wouldn't take that sell opportunity because for me, I'm a long-term trader. I always expect to see trade line up in the favor of the direction the majority of the market are actually moving at. So since we had the breakout of this trend line earlier on this week, I'm expecting that price will do a retracement into trend line, a retest of the trend line, where we'll be seeing a trend continuation to the upside. So this information is for those who love doing counter trend opportunity, and I identified here a key level for those who want to do counter trend opportunity at around this area at 1.94320 area, where I said you can only enter a sell opportunity after a breakdown and retest of structure happens, and then you see patterns that support a trend continuation to the downside. So if that happens, you have about 150 pips to catch with a take profit target at 1.28 area and stop loss right above previous structure with about 26 to 30 pips. I think we are good to go on that one. So that is on the GBP New Zealand. So we moved on to the GBP USD, where we were stopped out. We were stopped out. We were taken out in a loss position on GBP USD yesterday, though we had a profitable trade in the beginning of the week, and we were expecting the sell momentum to continue. But unfortunately, we had a breakout of the bearish trend line and also the breakout of the key level, giving us a sign that we might be going bullish on this one. So this is what I mean here. We had a breakout of that bearish trend line. We have a retest of that structure, which also aligns with the key level as well. Then I told you that we have a pending order right here at 1.25384, which has already been triggered right now. I also have one at 1.25470. So we have another one at 1.25480. So where I'm looking at a trend continuation to the upside. So our take profit target remains at around 1.26500 with about 110 pips and a stop loss right below the previous low. So on the GBP USD, I have a position triggered already, and I hope you already do as well. And let's see how price plays out as we head into the New York session. Then on the Euro card, I think that's the last pair we discussed today. I made mention of how important the key level at 1.34600 is, and we can see that that key level also shares a confluence with the bearish trend line. And I made mention of two scenarios here: a bullish opportunity and a selling opportunity. And I said for us to take advantage of a selling opportunity, of a bullish opportunity, we want to see a breakout of the bearish trend line and also the key level as well, then a retest of that area to take advantage of that bullish momentum. So we have a take profit target at 1.35980 for the meantime, which is about 130 pips. And the second scenario goes like this. We're expecting price to come into this area, then form a reversal pattern, form a lower low, break out of structure, a retest into structure, then we can take advantage of that bearish move to the downside. As long as price is right below that bearish trend line and the key level, we are good to go. So we have a take profit target for the bearish momentum at 1.336, which is about 100 pips thereabout. So these are my views here on EuroCAD and on all the pairs we shared today. So on this note, I would like to call this a day. But before I do, I want to appreciate you guys. I thank you very much for being around with me. It was fun. I enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you same time tomorrow as usual. On those notes, do have a wonderful day, and most importantly, best of luck.